It's Friday, January 11th, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Frenella Wedderburn. A cloud of uncertainty hangs over the early reaping of this year's sugar crop. That's because the island's independent cane farmers may not cut a single blade of cane if they are not paid outstanding monies from last year. Mark Seeley, chairman of the Barbados Sugar Industry Limited, the organization which represents the independent producers, hinted that his members would withdraw their labor unless they are paid before the crop begins.
We will be ready for a crop. Having said that, we are still to be paid certain monies for 2018 crop. That we obviously we will need to get those paid before we can start crop, and we'll also need to have a price for our cane prior to the start of crop, which would be, as I said, around the end of February, early March. So there's a lot of work to be done, and we are working hard to make sure that all of these things are in place by the specific time.
Retired educator Jeff Brooms joins calls for officials to take a fresh look at the Barbados Secondary School's entrance exam, better known as the Common Entrance or 11+ exam. Earlier this week, Director of the School of Education at the University of the West Indies Cavell campus, Professor Joel Warwican, said the exam was not fit for purpose. There was a similar call by former Member of Parliament for St. Michael's South East, Hamilton Lashley, last week. However, while Brooms was not as critical of the exam, he told Barbados Today the time had come for it to be replaced by more continuous assessment. He is of the view that testing for transition to secondary school should begin at Class 1.
I have never been a big fan of one-off tests. Let's be clear about that.
Okay.
And the way the conventions is used now is a simple one-off test. If we're going to use it for allocation purposes, I'm going to put forward my ideas, which may not be consistent with his. I feel the convention should be a cumulative test after the process of a children's primary development. In other words, I believe they should have a national test at Class 1 and do a lot of remediation to help improve the children's weaknesses, I think Class 2. Do another national test in Class 3, and then those cumulative marks, and then the exam itself at Class 4 could be used as maybe 50% of the overall mark per child. But by then you should be seeing what the children's weaknesses are and how you're improving on them. So it's a three-step process as far as I'm concerned.
The new body representing the interests of public service vehicle operators has the ability to bridge the gap between transport authorities and the day-to-day challenges faced by workers. That's the view of President of the Association of Public Transport Operators, Maurice Lee, who has also thrown his support behind the PSV Workers Association, despite claims that owners had failed to act in their best interests. Lee tells Barbados Today the group's formation is perhaps one of the best things that has happened to the Barbados public service vehicle industry in the last 25 years.
I commend the workers for coming together and forming their new association, and I believe that association is a significant asset to public transport in Barbados and in no way a liability.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional developments now, public workers in St. Lucia reject government's one-time cash offer to settle outstanding wages. The Trade Union Federation says the decision was taken as the government negotiating team failed to disclose the cash amount being offered. More in this report from HTS News Force.
Thousands of public servants represented by the Trade Union Federation, TUF, have rejected a proposed lump sum offer by the government negotiating team, GNT, in a bid to settle wage negotiations for the 2016 to 2019 triennium due to come to a close on March 31st. After rounds of meetings and exchanging correspondence, the TUF, led by President Julian Monrose, has accused the GNT, led by attorney Vern Gill, of omitting the actual lump sum amount.
We couldn't say yes to a lump sum. We accepted a lump sum only to discover that the lump sum represents something we're not ready to work with.
But couldn't the TUF or its affiliates suggest or recommend a figure?
Well, we know one affiliate that recommended, and they rejected what the affiliate recommended. So the way negotiations go is that you put a proper proposal before me, I look at it, and then I make a counter. There was no basis for a counter proposal.
In a January 10th sit-down with News Force, TUF President Monrose explained the decision to opt out of the GNT's one-time cash settlement was unanimous and came in December after consultation with their vast membership.
The government never put a proper proposal before us. The government negotiating team letter simply indicated that they're willing to pay a lump sum and that they would like, if we are accepting the lump sum, to forego negotiations for the triennium 2016 to 2019. It never quoted a figure. So on that basis, there was nothing to discuss.
Unaffiliated with the TUF, the National Workers Union, who secured a $1,000 payout for thousands of its membership in December, reportedly made the lump sum recommendation to the GNT. TUF affiliate, the Civil Service Association, who boasts a 2,000-strong membership, scoffed at the National Workers Union's Money on the Road agreement. Salary adjustments for public servants, the TUF contends, are overdue by more than 5 years. And time is running out for both parties to come to an agreement on the 2016 to 2019 negotiating period.
The question is always, when will negotiation end? When will negotiation conclude? So the membership of the various unions, they are very anxious for the conclusion of negotiation. And we in the leadership of the unions, we are feeling that pressure because they are saying to us that they have gone for too long without a salary increase. Negotiation has been outstanding for too long and they want conclusion.
Frustrations with a lagging negotiation process reportedly caused the Police Welfare Association to break away from the TUF. Failure to come to an agreement with the GNT by March could impact St. Lucia's fragile industrial relations climate. The TUF issued official notice of its membership's overwhelming decision to reject the mystery GNT money offer in December. Rihani Isidore, HTS News Force.
And finally, Michael Cohen, President Donald Trump's former lawyer, is coming to Capitol Hill. Cohen, who pleaded guilty and was sentenced in December to 3 years in prison on multiple charges, including two campaign finance crimes, has reportedly agreed to testify publicly before Congress on February 7.
Before heading to prison in March, Michael Cohen will make a very high-profile pit stop on Capitol Hill. President Trump's former attorney, who implicated Trump in a scheme to pay illegal hush money to two women, will testify publicly in front of the House Oversight Committee on February 7th, the committee announced Thursday. Cohen in a statement said he looks forward to giving a, quote, full and credible account of the events which have transpired. The hearing may be Democrats' first salvo in what they've pledged will be a wide-ranging effort to investigate alleged misdeeds by Trump and those in his inner circle. Cohen, as Trump's former fixer, told a court he acted at Trump's direction during the 2016 campaign when he bought the silence of porn star Stormy Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal, both of whom claim to have had affairs with Trump years ago. He also admitted to lying to Congress about a proposed Trump Tower project in Moscow. Cohen, at his sentencing hearing in December, said that his blind loyalty to Trump led him to cover up the president's, quote, dirty deeds.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Do have a fantastic Friday.